was down 0.36%, and that was due to sell-offs in the banking stocks. Egypt closed for the week positive on Thursday, while Kenya closed also positive on Thursday. And most major stock markets in the Gulf closed the week negative as well on Thursday on concerns over the economic fallout from the coronavirus that has spread to nearly 80 countries. Dubai's index fell 0.76%, and that was weighed down by a 3% fall in Emirates MBD Bank and a 4.6% slide in budget airliner Air Arabia. In Abu Dhabi, the index retreated 0.57%, with Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank losing 0.9%, while Abu Dhabi Aviation tumbled 7.6%, its biggest fall since January. The UAE, which has reported at least 27 coronavirus cases, urged its citizens and other residents to avoid traveling abroad because of concerns over the virus outbreak. Saudi Arabia's benchmark index also closed 0.76% lower, while the Qatari index was the sole gainer by 0.68%, and that was boosted by a 2.1% gain in the Gulf's largest lender, Qatar National Bank. It's the same story in Europe, as stocks fell sharply this morning as the coronavirus outbreak keeps impacting businesses worldwide. The pan-European stock 600 tumbled 1.5% at the start of trading. The travel and leisure stocks jet 3% to lead losses as all the sectors and major bourses slid into the red. Well, let's talk to my colleague in Frankfurt, Orich Bass, for more on what's happening today. Good afternoon, Orich. It's another round of heavy losses on Wall Street yesterday, and that was followed by more losses in Asia as the second week with the coronavirus draws to a close. But what's the picture in Europe?
Yeah, the picture now is that the losses continue. They're here in Frankfurt. The DAX is down by about 3.6%. Same for the Euro Stoxx 50, which has as members the 50 most important shares in the Eurozone. And also London and Paris are down. London not quite as much down as the other markets. If you look at the weekly picture, it may surprise you a little bit that there's not all that great losses. The perception was that there was a much bigger slide, but preliminary result, the situation at the moment, if we're looking at the DAX here in Frankfurt, for example, this week there was only, I say only in the light of Corona, a loss of over 3%. And for the Euro Stoxx 50 index, it lost less than 3%. This, of course, not least due to spikes because of the Fed's move, initial positive reaction to that. It since is seen as a move that's backfired, but initially it was positive. And then also it was seen as positive that Joe Biden won Super Tuesday, came out ahead, and seems to be the candidate that the stock markets prefer. So Corona playing a role, but the minus side at the end of the week, not quite as large as you'd expect with all the worries that are connected with Corona behind it.
Well, there are certain winners of the crisis, like certain pharmaceutical companies with antiviral drugs in their lineup or face mask producers. Classical safe havens are also on that list. Are they doing very well?
Yeah, the safe havens across the board basically have been the receivers of the nervous investors taking their money there. Whether you look at U.S. Treasuries or the Japanese yen or German bonds or gold, they've all gone up. Gold has gone up by about 5% this week. The yen has continued to rise against the U.S. dollar more than 5%. U.S. Treasuries reaching a record low, the yield there going down to 0.74% minus. Same picture with the 10-year Bund. So investors are taking their money elsewhere, not to equities. And the sectors that are coming into focus as worry sectors, they're becoming more and more banks and insurers joining the ranks of travel and the airlines.
But just before you go, Ori, tell us, are there any predictions, fears or hopes for next week?
I think next week there will be hopes that there will be some clarity on economic stimulus programs that will kick in. The Eurozone finance ministers, there's lots of back and forth, but so far no clear program. And I think the people in the market are ready to hear more on that. Also numbers, also from the German government, the Eurozone's largest economy. They'd like to see it step up as well. And the ECB. It has yet to announce anything concrete. It has an opportunity to do so after a regular meeting. It may act in the forefront, as the Fed did last week as well. But a lot of people think it will wait at least until the meeting next Thursday, and everyone will be, let's say, hanging on the lips, as we say in German, of the new president, Christine Lagarde, when she is answering questions to Corona.
All right, Arish, thanks a lot for those updates, and do have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.